Hello, everybody. Welcome. So, I've got some catching up to do. I've had a lot of things going on today, but I wanted to react to Chantal's pathetic Paneer video that she did, and I've got so many thoughts. So, this Paneer food video that she did, she was cranky, she was irritable, on the defensive, all that stuff. Now, Chantal liked to try to tell all of us that Salah really loves her for who she is. He loves her so very much. But I would like to show Chantal something if she hasn't already seen it. So let me just bring it up here on the screen, courtesy of Coffee Drinker on Twitter. Here, let me just share the screen with all of you. See if I can find it. Okay, this again is from courtesy of Coffee Drinker saying, wonder if Foodie Beauty knows that Salah doesn't like fat. If 300 is a cow, what is Chantal at her weight when she's double that number? So what we're looking at, folks, is a tweet from Salah. This is a very old account that he had on Twitter. You guys can see the date. But the tweet says she weighs 200 pounds and writes, Ashta, you are a cow-butting cock. I don't know what he's trying to say right there, but he is obviously putting down women of a bigger size. So if he doesn't like 200 pounds, how does he feel about a woman who's 400 pounds or 500 pounds? Yeah. So even if we didn't see this tweet, as I remember, when Salah and Chantal got together, he wanted her to lose 200 pounds. So if he was happy at her weight, why would he request that she lose 200 pounds? Obviously, Chantal, he's not happy with your weight. If he wants you to lose not just a little bit of weight, but a lot of weight. Also, there's something else of interest that I think Chantal would be wanting to know. And all of us that are on my channel, you want to know as well. Let me go ahead and find the tweet. So this was something that happened. Okay, I'm bringing it up now. Share the screen. Here we go. So I think I made mention of this in my last react. It looks like the Middle Eastern Twitter has gotten word of Chantal. And why is this bad for her? Well, as I understand it, the Ministry of the UAE, they monitor social media. So they are now aware of Chantal, and a lot of things are getting around. There are some people on Twitter that might be hashtagging Foodie Beauty, hashtagging her name, and making the Middle Eastern Twitter aware of her. So trying to hide out in the Middle East, Chantal, it doesn't seem like it's working. Word is getting around very quickly about your presence there and who you are. So you might want to think about coming home. Not exactly a place you can escape to and hide. But so let's go on to the video that she did. I've got so many thoughts. And I will forewarn you, as far as her eating the food, same old, it's boring. But I'm going to give my thoughts anyway. We're going to start about 3 minutes in, and here we go.
Berry juice with a bunch of ice. So, I'm actually in a really good mood. Just some things that, mashallah, have been happening in life. And also, first, I want to say, I see some comments where it's like, people have the nerve to say, like, you look miserable, you're unhappy, like telling me how I feel. And it's like, I can assure you that just because I'm overweight and I have struggles, everyone has struggles in life.
You know, Chantal, there you are, downplaying what's going on right from the very get of this video. You are not just simply overweight, you are super, super morbidly obese. There are differences between overweight and obese and super, super morbidly obese to the point of being nearly bedbound. You're not just a little bit overweight. You're not even obese. You are 2 or 3 levels past that. If you were at a size where you had no trouble breathing, you had absolutely no trouble moving, you had no trouble traveling and doing things for yourself, nobody would have anything to say. If you were 1,000 pounds and you had no trouble doing the simplest of things, nobody would be saying anything. But the fact remains, you are 5 feet tall. You are over 500 pounds. Sitting perfectly still, you have trouble breathing. You can't even put your shoes on. So, whatever weight you are struggling. You're struggling with simple things. You cannot be left alone to do things by yourself. And people have pointed that out to you. You need to lose the weight, if for no other reason, if not for vanity, for mobility's sake, for the sake of having your independence and not having to rely on somebody there to do things with you and for you. But you don't want to hear it. You're using the fact that you are overweight as a kind of defense, as a kind of shield. You scream fat phobia and fat shamers and fat haters, when all that people are doing is pointing out to you that you are very unhealthy. It's apparent to all of us that you're unhealthy, and the situation is getting increasingly worse. And yet, you expect everyone to care, but yet you don't care about your health.
I still love my life very, very much.
Do you?
So I really love my life and I'm working, on it. But at the same time, I'm going to keep trying and pushing myself.
Do you know why everybody calls Chantal out for lying? Because her mouth says one thing and her actions say another. She gets in front of the camera and she tells all of us, I am extremely happy. I love my life. I love the life that I have here in Kuwait with Salah, with the cat, with the hamster. I absolutely love it. But somebody who is filled with joy and happiness wouldn't be so doggone miserable, would not be cranky and irritable all the time, wouldn't even have the opportunity or the time to pay attention to what anybody else was saying that might be negative. If your life is full of happiness, then you're so full of happy, you don't care what people say about you. But yet she cares very much. All she does all day long is sit on her phone and scroll around on Twitter and YouTube and even TikTok looking for things said about her that are negative and reacting to them.
And we have a lot of exciting content coming up, actually. So stay tuned for that. I know I say that, but it's actually coming up real soon.
And what is the exciting content? Well, the vlog that she put up today was her going shopping for new hijabs. That was the exciting content. Chantal going shopping. And shopping for items that we've already seen her buy at least a couple of times before. She's done abaya hauls. She's done hauls where she's bought new hijabs. So it's the same recycled content subjects. It's nothing new. There's nothing innovative here. There's nothing creative here. It's just her rehashing old ideas that she's already shown us more than once before.
We have some vlogs, a lot of nice content for you guys. Or I'm actually doing things. I'm never going to give up.
Actually, you already have. Sitting there in front of that blue couch, eating that paneer, which you know you shouldn't have, eating that bread, which you know you also shouldn't have, Just by doing that, you're saying, I've given up. I've given up on my health. I've given up on being healthy. I've given up on more mobility. I've given up on turning my life around. Every time you sit down and do a food video, you are saying to the audience without saying the words out loud, I quit. I'm not going to go any further. I'm not interested in being a different person. I'm not interested in being a more healthy person. I'm just going to just settle into my fate. I'm going to settle into the fate of being an unhealthy, unhappy person because even though I'm uncomfortable and even though it's painful, it's not uncomfortable enough or painful enough to change. Any of us watching the video, if your life is uncomfortable, as weird as it may sound, if you experience a certain kind of pain long enough, you learn to live with it and it becomes your normal. It's only when you're pushed past that boundary of what you're used to a place where it's intolerable that you want to fix it. And Chantal's world has been nothing but certain kinds of uncomfortable and painful. But as long as she doesn't go past that threshold, she's willing to tolerate it and keep it going.
But don't assume just because someone is overweight that they hate their life.
You're not just overweight, though. You are super morbidly obese. You can't do much. You can't go anywhere. You can't do anything. Chantal, you are a prisoner of your own body. You carry your prison attached to you. There is no possible way, ma'am, at 5 feet tall, that 500 pounds is comfortable and it's pain free. There's just no way. I'm sure your back is always in pain every time you try to stand up or you try to walk. And without sounding rude, without sounding hateful in a female sense, we've all heard of the fupa balls. We've all talked about the fupa balls. In my opinion, because you've gained a lot of weight, I'm sure you've gained weight in that area, the fupa balls have now become a full-on apron and it hangs down from the top of your pubic area. And I know that has to hurt, mama. I know it has to hurt. I know it has to be painful for it to hang down like that. You can't tell me that's not painful. So with all that pain attached to you, with all that pain going on, you can't tell me that you're happy living that way. And yet, despite the fact that you've gotten yourself to a size where you are very uncomfortable and it is painful, I guess the pain level is not strong enough or high enough that you want to fix it. You want to continue living with it because you decide every day and with every bite that the food is more important than the tremendous amount of pain you might be going through.
No. Yes, I wish I was healthier. Yes, I wish a lot of things, but I mean, I'm still grateful for everything else I have in my life, and I know what I'm going through is a test from Allah. So I bear it. And I know that I have a lot of figuring out to do, like, before I get there.
And what exactly do you have, Chantal? What exactly do you have that's so valuable that you must hang on to it? Salah? He doesn't love you. He doesn't care. He's a bum. Courtesy of Music Biz Marty and him posting up videos, I have taken a peek at the rest of Salah's family. They all look like very smart, very intelligent, well schooled, well educated professional people. It seems like Salah is very unlike his family, but he's a professional bum. He thinks he's so good looking that he should be a kept man, and he's looking for a woman that will take care of him. And then he found you. What he wanted was a big, rich fish. What he got was a big, bloated whale. And yet he won't take his fishing line and put it back in the ocean to look for another fish. He's just going to hang on to you until, I guess, something happens to you. As long as you take care of him, as long as you pay all the bills, he's going to stick with you. He's not interested in working. He's not interested in bettering himself. He's interested in finding a woman dumb enough to take care of him. And I guess you fit the bill that way. But he's no catch. Guys like that are a dime a dozen. Yet he's something to you. Because that's the kind of guy you're looking for, isn't it, Chantal? You look for desperate men who have no job, have no independence, don't want their independence. They just want to be taken care of. Here's what I think happened. I think the two of you lied to each other and scammed each other. I think he lied to you about what he had. I think you lied to him a lot about what you looked like and what you had. And you made a lot of promises to him. And then the two of you met. When you got off that plane the first time, I'm sure he got the shock of a lifetime. And still, the two of you have been lying and scamming to one another ever since. Also, what I think that you got with Salah in an effort to make Nader jealous because he still wasn't away from Didi. Nader was your one true love. You are more yourself around Nader than you've ever been around Salah. But you got with Salah to make Nader jealous. That didn't work, and then everything just went out of control from there. And yet you won't let go of Salah because honestly, you have nowhere else to go.
So I know it's not, I should not like focus on negative comments, but they're comments that like are a general stereotype. Like, I'm trying to knock down the stereotype, not just like feed into the negativity. But I find watching videos like today, I spent like at least 30 minutes straight watching these videos on TikTok of this long-haired chicken called Pretzel who is the cutest thing ever. And it like watching happy things is my point. Like,
So take note of that. She spent 30 minutes on TikTok watching videos when she could have spent that 30 minutes doing something productive for herself, like working out or setting up the laptop in the living room and just doing some low impact aerobics. She could have spent that 30 minutes doing something to better her health versus just sitting on the couch doing nothing. It's about time management, Chantal. How you spend your time every day determines how happy you are during that day. So you're about avoiding ways to make yourself happy versus just pursuing things that would make you happy.
I don't know how people live day to day coming online and having to be negative to make a living. Like, Honestly, like think about it. For example, and go
You know, after she said that, I just had a thought, and I'd like to share the thought with my viewers. You know, I would love to install a mirror in Chantal's room, a mirror that covers the entire opposing wall right in front of her when she does these videos. So that when she does these videos and she's talking to the camera, she's getting her reflection behind that where she can look at herself. So when she says things like that, she's looking at herself and she's saying it, and she realizes, you know what? I'm talking about myself too. That applies to me. So she's criticizing those for criticizing her, saying, I just can't imagine coming online and just saying hateful comments all day. But Chantal, that's your content. Drama and controversy and making people angry and just being snarky, that is your content to the core. That is how you make money, or that's how you used to make money. People have now started to pick up on your tactics for making money and they're not falling for it any longer. But you're not about that life of doing positive content. You are about, let me really make people angry and get them so angry that they send me hate super chats. They send me money out of spite. That's what I'm going for. I'm going to kick the hornet's nest because it's profitable for me. Well, it used to be, not so much any longer. Guess you're going to have to find a different tactic to make money besides scamming people, grifting people, lying to people, and being dramatic.
watch our vlog, our couples vlog, by the way, if you will. Thank you. That was a very positive video. Like, Salah was being very supportive.
I think she's confusing the word support with enable because there is a difference. He's not supporting Chantal, he's enabling Chantal. And he's enabling her because he's getting something out of the deal. He'll say yes to whatever she wants, whenever she wants it, because she is financially supporting him. And I don't know if he's still got the thought in his head that he's going to get some kind of citizenship out of her or get to fly somewhere. I don't know what he's wanting from her. But I got news for him. Salah, listen, bro. Chantal's not stupid. She may act stupid, but she's not stupid. She might be deliberately, purposely not making a lot of money just so you won't have a lot of money, just so you'll leave her. Did you ever consider that thought? She would be that one that she would deliberately keep herself from making lots of money just to make sure you don't go anywhere. She'll make just enough so the two of you don't starve and the basic necessities are taken care of, but that's it. There's never going to be a day where she hands you a bunch of money and says, here you go, here's 10 grand, here's 20 grand, knowing what might probably happen once you get that money in pocket. She probably has an inkling that you want to just disappear into the night and go to 1,000 red rooms, but she's not going to allow that. She wants you there. She needs you there. She needs a caretaker. You're the only person she knows and she can talk to in Kuwait. You know, tag, you're it. So she's going to do whatever it is she needs to do to keep you there, including make her videos so incredibly boring and so bland that she's not making much money. Because she knows if you get your hands on it, you'll be gone in the night.
And people have to make it a negative thing. Like, it's some people's literal jobs online to try to twist something and making it into a negative. Um, just because we're not making out or doing really haram things on camera.
You know, I know they're in Kuwait. I know there's only so much you can do in public, maybe also on video. But you all have to know that Salah is just counting his blessings and thankful that he's in Kuwait. And he can say that to Chantal, look, we're in Kuwait. I can't show you public affection. I cannot be affection with you. You know, he's counting his blessings, that he can use that as a reason not to touch her. He's absolutely loving that. The fact that he can say that and get away with it, just so he doesn't have to touch her.
And because Salah's first language is not English, any interaction, even though he's being completely loving, has to be awkward or a sign that he doesn't love me. If he didn't love me, he wouldn't be trying to encourage me to do the right things in my life. He wouldn't try to be helping me become a better person. And just because I eat what I want doesn't mean behind the scenes you don't know what we talk about. You don't know what he tries to encourage me to do. You don't.
Okay, anybody who's been watching Chantal for more than 5 minutes, we know how bullheaded and stubborn she can be. We are also familiar with her temper tantrums, that when it comes to what Chantal wants, nobody and nothing is going to tell her no. If you tell her no, there's going to be a fight. And she makes sure whatever situationship, relationship thing that she gets herself into, that she's the one in control. It's really, really strange. It's strange that she wants a man that she says, oh, I love the fact that he's in control and he does everything. At the same time, she will maintain her power position of nobody tells me what to do. So I guess the only thing to take away from that is when she wants to give over power, she wants to give it over, but on other times she wants it back. Maybe she wants to give up control with certain responsibilities she doesn't want to think about. Like, oh, you pay the bills, you pay the rent, you go get the groceries, you take care of the pets. But when it comes to her food, nobody's going to keep her from that. Maybe Salah has tried to help her. Maybe he has tried to keep her healthy. If for no other reason, because he wants to get to Canada and he wants to travel, and she needs to be at a certain kind of health to travel. And she's not there yet, nor is she going to get there because of the way she's eating right now. But as far as her health, there's nothing he can do. It's all on her. She has to make the decision to get healthy. He can't do anything. All he can do is just give in to every whim that she has and keep her pacified for now. And that might lead to disastrous results.
Don't know. Like, there's many times he's helped me deflect from a binge.
Okay. Now I've got something to say. Many times he's helped me deflect from a B moment. As someone that I've dealt with BED, I can't tell you how distasteful I find her attitude. Let me tell you why. Because if there's something wrong, like a BED with someone, and hers is really severe, you cannot use something like that to manipulate another person and guilt trip them. For example, if you want their attention, which Chantal always needs attention. You can't give her enough. And that person decides, I need to go out. I need to do something. I need to spend time with my friends. And then, say, Chantal gets angry and jealous. She feels slighted. And she decides she wants to have a B moment, in a moment of vengeance. Then that person comes home and she says, it's all your fault I had this moment. You weren't here. You cannot use another person as a crutch to keep away from whatever's wrong with you. Do you understand? You cannot tell them, you have to be here or else I'm going to do something to hurt myself. You have to be here. I've got to be under constant supervision. I've got to be under constant watch. That is not fair. You are suffocating the other person. You are saying to them, there's something wrong with me, but I am not interested in fixing it. I'm interested in you being with me and spending time with me, and you are my control. So you have to always be here because without you, I'm out of control. It's not fair to the other person because if there's something wrong with you, then you need to be proactive in fixing it yourself. Not using another person as a crutch to avoid the fact that you have no self-control.
Actually, he's an amazing, amazing supportive person.
You mean amazing enabler, but go ahead.
Where are your spouses? Where are your significant others? You know,
I am so incredibly sick of hearing her say that. I am so tired of Chantal saying that. Where are your husbands? Where are your boyfriends? Where's yours? Where's your man at? Because you don't really have a man. You have a paid companion that you rent by the hour, that you pay by the month. That is not your boyfriend. That is not your husband. He's just a paid for companion. He doesn't really love you. He doesn't really care for you. You pay for his company, and that's it. You went to Kuwait and you started playing house with a stranger just because he fit your aesthetics and your optics. And you were trying to make Nader jealous. But beneath the skin, he has no real care for you. He has no real love for you. He is repulsed by you. And let me tell you something, Chantal, if I had the choice between being in a situation like that, where I had to pay someone to like me, love me, pretend to love me, or being single, I'll pick being single. I prefer to be real and keep it real versus living a life of phony with another person like you are. You're 39 years old. You're far too old to be playing house, okay? That's something that you do when you're a kid. You're playing those childhood games over there in your adulthood, and it ain't cute. You might want to stop. There's nothing wrong with being single if that's what you are. Having a partner is wonderful. Having a wife or a husband is wonderful if the love is real, if the connection is real, but it's got to be real. You said a long time ago, all he has to do is fake love me and I will give him the world. Well, guess what? Fake love is not real love. Apparently, fake love is expensive because you keep paying for it, but real love is free. It's given freely from one person to another just because they feel it and they want to give it to you. You can't put a price tag on it, and it means so much. If you've ever had real love in your life, you would know the difference between real love and fake love. But maybe you've drifted down to a place where fake love is all you can get because you don't want to take care of yourself. You don't want to better yourself. Nobody worth anything of quality would put up with you. So you'll grab at the fake love because that's all that's around you. Got to have somebody pretend to care about you, pretend to adore you. Ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. Let me tell you, you're missing out on the real thing by being a lazy, gluttonous, overfed tick of a woman, a walking garbage bag full of debris. And if you want that situation to change, you got to clean yourself up all the way, inside and out.
Just watching you be negative all the time online. You sit there and say that we're not in a happy relationship.
You're not. Listen, even if I didn't know of Chantal and Salah, any of us as people, just imagine a scenario going out to a restaurant or any other public place. If you're sitting down to have dinner or hang out, you can look around a room and you can usually look at people, look at couples, and see who has the most connection, who's really, really close, who's really feeling the romance that night, and maybe what couples are fighting that night. You could just tell by the body language, you can tell by the body chemistry. We're not there in person to watch Salah and Chantal. All we have are the video clips and the lives. And every single live, every single video clip, there's no chemistry. It's awkward. It's cringeworthy. They're supposed to be a couple. I don't feel any kind of spark between them, any real soul connection there. Every time I see those two together, all I can think is, why won't he get away from her? He's not feeling a doggone thing. Like, what is he hanging around for? Honestly, that's the question in my mind every time I see these two.
But yet, no happy person is doing what these people do online. Period. So,
And if you were happy, you wouldn't even have time for YouTube. How about that? If your life was so overflowing with bliss and happiness, Chantal, you wouldn't care about YouTube, honestly. You wouldn't be sitting down to make these food videos. You'd be showing us more of the true couple vlogs, spending time with Salah, doing things with him, laughing with him, being close to him. We'd see more of that than this. You're diving more into the food because you don't have the connection with Salah. I know you like to play the game of pretend in your head, where you think that you're smarter than all of us. You've got us all fooled, but you haven't. We can see, we've got eyes. This whole marriage is a sham. It has been from the very get-go. It's a business transaction. He doesn't love you. And let's be real, you don't love him. It's not about love anymore. It's about need. He doesn't love you. He needs you. You don't love him. You need him. There is a big difference between love and need. Love is something you feel. It's by choice. A choice where you can either be there or not be there. Same thing for your partner. When you say that you love Salah, what you really mean is, I need Salah. Whenever he might say he loves you, what he actually means is he needs you. You both need each other for different reasons. You need them around for some reason or another, but it's not love. Once upon a time, whenever he walked in the room, your face would light up. You would start blushing and giggling. You don't do that anymore. Every time he walks in the room, you get this look on your face like You want to grab a broom and scoot him out the door. And every time he looks at you, he looks at you with disgust. That's what we're seeing in your videos. The magic is gone. The honeymoon is over, if there ever was one. Yet you two idiots just won't let each other go.
So yeah, I mean, we don't really care, you know. He's also actually stopped a lot of rages.
Again, not his job. Do you hear yourself? Chantal, do you honestly hear what you're saying? You make your videos, but you don't watch your own videos, and you should. You should watch your own videos back and listen to the things that you say. In this one video, you have said because of Salah, he stopped a lot of B moments, which he shouldn't have to do because he's your husband. Okay, he's not somebody, an inpatient. He's not an employee stopping you from a B moment. He's not your warden. You shouldn't have him around to stop that. You should stop that yourself. Now you're also saying, oh, he stopped a lot of rages. So is that his job, to stop you from having B moments and stop you from having rages? You're supposed to be the older one in the relationship, the more mature one, and yet he's got to keep you under control? Do you know how sad and pathetic that sounds? That you are so lacking in control that a younger man has to control you from you doing stupid, out of control, harmful things? You need some self-reflection time. You really do.
He's not responsible for my actions, though, you know.
No, he
He's not
isn't.
responsible for what I put in my mouth.
Well, you are in control of what you eat, but at the same time, he doesn't have to enable you. Surely, we can only see the filtered version of you. I'm sure he sees the unfiltered version, and I'm sure he's noticed that things are getting worse, that you are gaining more weight, that you're losing your mobility. How can that not alarm him and scare him about what might happen? And yet, he keeps enabling you. How can he keep doing that knowing what it might lead to? There's no possible way that he can control what you put in your mouth. If you want something, you're going to get it. But at the same time, he doesn't have to enable you. He needs to walk away from this whole thing and say, listen, I'm not sticking around. I'm not doing this no more. Money be doggone. I'm out. He's enabling you. He's keeping you pacified because as long as you're around, he doesn't have to work. So basically what you have, Chantal, is a enabling bum who will give you whatever you want as long as you support his life.
I am. So to blame someone else is ridiculous. And I see that a lot. People want so bad for Salah to be another, you know who, Voldemort.
You know what I think? I think you wanted Salah to be uh, another version of Natter. Not entirely, but you just want another man in your life. You know what I've noticed? BB was the last man in your life that was worth anything. BB was a hardworking man, very hardworking, had his own place, good man, really good man. You screwed that up because BB was an independent, hardworking man, had his own car, had his own place. He had the power to say, enough, Chantal. I am not putting up with you. Get out. And he kicked you out. And you, as a control freak, did not like that. The fact that somebody else had their independence and they used it. So after BB, every man that you chose to be around and be with could not have their independence. They couldn't have a job, couldn't have their own money, couldn't have the means to support themselves. You made a habit of picking bums out of society and supporting them just so you could have control. But once you got control, you got bored with them, moved on to the next one. You got a hold of Pete's. Pete's had a job, was making money, had good credit. That's how you got into the villa in the first place. Then once Pete's did not have his job, you were saying, come on to YouTube with me and do videos with me. Once he didn't have a job and he was being completely dependent on you, you got bored with him. Moved on to Natter. Tried to get control of Natter for over a year. That didn't work. Then you moved on to Salah. Here's Salah. No job, no money. Completely dependent on you. You love to pick those guys out that have nothing going on for themselves just so you can control them and they can't get away from you. Because that's the only way you can have a man in your life is one that you trap with you. They're not with you because they want to be with you. It's because they're trapped and stuck with you. So where's your man, Chantal? Where's your man? Oh, that's right, in a cage. You put him in a cage so they can't get away.
They want to. They don't want that nasty saga in my life to end because they don't want me to do better in my life. They don't want me.
No, you're not going to do that. No. You're not going to put the blame on us. You're not going to say it's our fault that your life has not gotten better because it's entirely your fault. Everything in your life, every detail is one of your own design. You made the blueprint. You drew everything out. You laid it all out and said, this is what I want for my ultimate life. I'm going to give up the villa. I'm going to give up the cats. I'm going to give up everything. And I'm going to go to Kuwait and be with a man I hardly know and be in a country of which I have no knowledge. And I'm going to go there and I'm going to eat nothing but fast food. And I'm going to be completely miserable. So you did. A little bit of independence you did have, you gave up just because you wanted access to a stranger that wanted really nothing to do with you. All of that was your decision. All of it. Nobody forced you into it. Nobody urged you into it. As a matter of fact, there were a lot of people saying, don't do it, Chantal. Don't do this. You didn't want to listen. You couldn't wait to be next to Salah because you thought that with your money, you could seduce him. Guess what? It ain't happened. Hasn't happened yet. Same way it didn't happen with Natter. You tried with Natter. That didn't work. You tried with Salah. That didn't work. What are you going to learn? Money does not make a man fall in love with you. You can't buy love. No matter how much you pay, it ain't going to happen. But you still try. You still equate love to, like, say, a pair of shoes or a piece of jewelry. You think you can buy it. Moron. Stupid.
To be happy. And that's the truth, and you know it. When I start to be happy, people will push and push and twist and start rumors and find things to, um, trigger a rage. And that's my responsibility not to let myself get triggered.
You trigger yourself. Nobody tells you to go online and look at anything. You do it yourself. You look for reasons to be angry. And you want to know why? Because you've got a lot of inner rage and frustration bottled up inside of you. You're frustrated with your life. You are bored to tears. You're frustrated with Salah because you imagine something romantic with him, maybe something intimate with him, and you're not getting it. All of that is just, all that frustration just boiled and bottled up together. But you're a coward. You won't go to Salah and vent your frustration on him. You won't tell him how you really feel. So you'll turn to YouTube and let it out on other people. You'll misdirect your anger and your rage. because you don't want to lose the loss. So you're not going to go to the person who you're really mad at. You're going to go to other people online and scream at them, because by screaming at people online, those people you're screaming at and making angry, they're not there physically in your life. You're not afraid of those you cannot see. You're not afraid of losing those people. You're afraid of losing the person that you have contact with. You have an anger problem, Chantal, never been addressed. You're a hateful, evil person, full of self-loathing and self-rage, because you don't even like yourself. That's why you can't be alone. You don't like your own company.
But I know this is not a rage, okay?
Oh, we know that.
This is speaking facts about how backwards some things on YouTube are. And yeah, I still talk about those issues because they're still problematic. But when I do get to a boiling point and say something, oh, you see, she's a bad person. See what she said? Blah, blah, blah. You know, like that kind of thing. Yeah, so he's an amazing husband.
He's an amazing robot.
And I say this just to point out the issues, but at the end of the day, we don't care about whatever people say or think about us. It really doesn't affect our life at all. Oh no. I just ate a cardamom pod. So all that to say, I mean, I don't know how people involve themselves in the drama every single day. It's literally so exhausting. And I seriously don't know how people can accuse someone of not having a life when you do that all day, like nitpicking the dumbest things.
You know, her making all these comments, that should tell you just how much time Chantal spends on YouTube and Twitter. Like, because there's tons of reaction channels and clip channels and archive channels, and of course Twitter. There's all kinds of stuff on Twitter. And that takes some time to go through all of that, to catch up with all the channels and what's being said and who's saying it. And some of the reacts go on for hours. So that should give you an idea of how much time Chantal actually spends online on her phone. I'm sure it takes her more than a couple of hours just to go through things and watch things, because she wants to be informed of what's going on. And yet she accuses all of us of having no life when she has none herself.
Spending all day on Twitter trying to tear someone down.
Oh, there you go. That's an admission. And isn't it funny? Didn't Chantal say a while ago she doesn't have a Twitter account? So if she doesn't have a Twitter account, how would she know what's going around Twitter? Unless she has a sock account on Twitter, or she has Beezers that send her information just so she can say, I don't have a Twitter account. Well, obviously, somebody connected to her has a Twitter account and is keeping her informed of things. Either way, you're a nosy busybody, Chantal, and you shouldn't be.
I've said this a million times. I don't even have Twitter.
That changes nothing for the reasons I just stated. You don't have to physically be on Twitter or have a Twitter account to know people that are, and they can tell you through email or a text or something what's being said and send you things.
So whenever people are talking about me, are they talking to themselves? Like they literally are. I also realized something else that's very empowering. Yeah, a lot of people don't like me. I don't need you to. I don't care.
Well, we don't care if you like us either.
Like, who are you? I don't like you either.
Yeah, well, we don't want you to sit with us, so stop walking around our table trying to listen into our conversations. That's rude. Just stay over on your side of the cafeteria, Chantal.
There, now we're unfriends. I have enough people in my life who love me. I don't care.
Name one. Name one person that honestly, truly loves you. Just one person. I'll wait. Show me one person that can come forward and say, I really love Chantal. She's so incredibly positive. She brings so much great energy to my life. I am a better person for knowing her and talking to her. Show me that one person, Chantal. Someone that you're not paying to say those things. I'll wait. I'm sure I'll be waiting a long time, but I'll still wait.
Oh my gosh, look at this, a whole anise. This was really good. The only thing with curry is it stains. I love it though. Oh my gosh, it's one of my favorite. I mean, this should be proof enough that I don't just do these for views or I'd be, mukbang for views I mean, because I've done paneer mukbangs a few times, like many times. And, you know, most people who try to get views from mukbangs do huge display of food. Yeah, so I had a bunch of comments in my Taco Bell video. This is a binge. You don't have the right.
Okay. I was a good girl. I was good. I wasn't nasty throughout this video. I didn't lose my temper. I was good, wasn't I? I know you guys like the calm reacts, but I'm about to not be calm. Because she's about to go into this thing trying to define what a B moment is and what a B moment isn't. And I'm not trying to gatekeep that kind of thing. It's not that. The point I want to make with Chantal is a B moment can look like anything. It could be one item of food, or it could be several items of food. As I just said to you earlier in this video, I've struggled with BED. I'm in recovery. I've been in recovery for a while. When you have a B moment, usually you do it in private. There's nobody else around because there is an element of embarrassment and shame attached to it. You don't want anybody to see what you're doing. So when Chantal sits down to do these videos, there's nobody else in the room. Salah's not there. It's just her and her camera. So I don't care if she eats one item of food or several. In my opinion, she is having a B moment. She's putting it on camera, but she's still having it. But because there's nobody there to judge her or stop her or say anything, she would never do this in public. Never. So yes, Chantal, you were having a B moment. You just make sure to have the camera rolling so you can monetize it. And even if it's not a B moment, even if you want to call it overeating, the result is still the same. You're eating food and you're eating too much of it. It is unhealthy for you. You're eating too many calories, which is leading to weight gain, which is leading to health problems. It's not healthy. Overeating, not healthy. B moments, not unhealthy. So trying to minimize what you're doing, it's not making the situation any better.
right? To define for me what a binge is. Like, that is not up to you to define what that is.
Oh, and by the way, that paneer that she just ate, that was basically like a whole day's worth of calories just in that one pie tin. That's not counting all the bread she just ate and the juice. That one meal would be like a whole day's worth of calories for me. And she just sat there and ate it. And you got to know there's more food behind that. So you want to call it overeating? Fine. You want to call it a B moment? Fine. It's still bad for you. There was nothing healthy about that.
That's up to me. I know what a binge is for me. A single meal is not a binge. That's not a binge. Please educate yourselves on.
And why don't you educate yourself? You're the one over there over 500 pounds, barely able to walk, barely able to breathe. Maybe you need to educate yourself about what is healthy and good for you and what is not. Before you start turning into Dr. Blue Couch and trying to say that you need to educate yourself, you need some education. You need to learn. You need to learn how to fix yourself. Stop wagging your finger at people and saying, you need to know. You need to educate yourself. No, they don't. You need the education. You need to fix your issues.
Binge eating disorder if you're going to comment on somebody's videos who has binge eating disorder. And people also saying,
And by the way, stop using BED as a reason and an excuse to do what you do. Stop using that as a shield, using that as a defense to keep eating this way. It's disgusting and it's gross. If you care about your health, you will fix your health. If you don't care about it, then you won't. But stop using BED as an excuse to keep going on the path that you're going and say, "Oh, I have BED and it's impossible. It's impossible to stop eating this way." Bullshit. Look at Hungry Fat Chick. Her channel is twice the size of yours. Her content was food. She's turning her life around. I say, good for you, Candy. Fantastic. If she could do it, you could do it, Chantal. The difference between you and Candy, other than the fact that she's a wonderful person and she's very sweet, and she doesn't bring the drama, is she cares about her life and you don't care about yours at all. She's saying to herself over there, my health is worth more than a paycheck. You are saying the reverse. You're saying my bad habits matter more to me than my life. Well, keep going the way that you're going and see where that leads to.
it's not an excuse. It's not an, yes, it is an excuse. It is an excuse. It is an excuse. And I'm not shielding myself and giving my, I'm not saying, oh, well, I have binge eating disorder, so I'm going to eat. No, I was not able to say no, and I picked something unhealthy. And that was a choice I made. And I was just sharing it because I'm trying to be transparent. I'm not trying to excuse anything.
Oh, really? She's trying to be transparent. So, all these food videos that she's been doing, and she recently revealed she had a backup sandwich. We've all been suspecting that she has actually orders more food than she shows on camera. So how transparent was that? Sitting there hiding food from the audience, having backup sandwiches. Who does that? Who orders backup sandwiches? I have never in my life heard of a backup sandwich. Never. Who does that sort of thing?
But yeah, I mean, having an eating disorder is a reason for these issues I have with food. I mean,
Chantal, I mean, listen, I'm not poking any fun at your problem, but I'm just gonna say it. I had BED too, and I never had a backup sandwich. Never even thought of it. Why are you thinking about it? Why do you do it? I'm how? Never heard of that backup sandwich concept ever.
But yeah, that's the thing. That's the problem. It's like you're darned if you do, you're darned if you don't. Because, as a person with food issues, with an eating disorder, as a big person, we literally can't eat anything like but a
You know what really disturbs me about her is that she lists everything that's wrong with her. And each thing that she puts out in front of the audience, she wants to elicit sympathy from her audience members. And she wants to put across, like, look, there are all these things wrong with me. Feel sorry for me. Feel pitiful for me. By listing all of her issues, maybe she's trying to attempt to bond with people in her audience that maybe some of the things that she's putting out there, other audience members have those same things wrong with them. And they're like, oh, I've got that wrong with me too. So her and I understand each other, right? Trauma bond, bonding through pain, bonding through the negative. She's got this wrong with herself. I got this wrong with myself. We can see eye to eye. Here's the situation though. She's the walking wounded. She is not interested in healing any of her hurts. She's interested in monetizing every single one of them. She'll even make stuff up just to have something to talk about, just to have content for that day. Chantal lies, but she also tells on herself. But you can't take every single word out of her mouth as truth because, for the most part, none of it's true. But she's all about making pain her content, either her own pain or somebody else's. The walking wounded, always walking around claiming how hurt she is, but when somebody says, "Hey, do this to fix yourself," she don't want to hear it. Because without pain, she wouldn't have content. Without food, she wouldn't have content. So pain and food are her content. That's why she'll never change. If you two came to her tomorrow and said, you can't come on camera crying about your issues, you can't come on camera eating, you got to pick something else for content, honestly, guys, she wouldn't know what to do. She really wouldn't.
fig leaf and a stick of celery. And someone will still say that's a stick of celery for a family of 8. Like it was an unhealthy meal. Yeah. Um, I find fast food to be very addictive, and that's
So you just admitted to the audience and in video that for you, it's very addictive. And you've also admitted you have a problem with food. So if you have a problem with something, why do it? Unless you want to continue the problem rather than cut it off. You're not interested in cutting off the problem. You're not interested in turning the corner for your health. You're interested in walking on the same street, back and forth, over and over, never truly leaving.
not a secret. Um, but I feel like it's important to share everything and not just the good, not just when I'm doing well, or which is not barely at all, like, but I'm not going to be down on myself about that, because yes, I you don't see how hard I struggle every day. You don't see what I do every day. You don't see me how many times I do say no to myself, and then I do give in, like, it's like there's so many times before that Taco Bell that I said no to a lot of different things I could have eaten. You don't see those things. You just assume the worst, and that's the kind of negative.
What do you mean saying no to a whole bunch of different things? Do you mean when you get on your phone and you're scrolling through Postmates or Uber Eats and you're seeing all the different foods that you could have until you finally choose what you want for a mukbang? We're supposed to congratulate you for not ordering the whole doggone menu? Well done for not ordering the whole menu, Chantal. Well done. Well done for eating 6,000 calories in a day versus 60,000. Congratulations on that, I guess. But still, your health is getting worse. So you're in an environment where you are being enabled and it's not working out well for you. And yet you won't be smart and go home and get inpatient treatment.
Negativity I'm talking about. I don't need it. But I was looking at our couples channel and I was like, people are delusional. Like there's some reactors, if you can call them that. Um, they're more hate channels, but whatever. And they're like, you or just like people in general. She never does anything in Kuwait. Like our couples channel from when I first came to Kuwait, we did so much together. We did so much on that channel. Just go look at all the videos. Like we did.
Why don't you go look at all the videos? Really look at that channel. Go back to the beginning and notice in the beginning when you got to Kuwait, when you weren't as heavy as you are now, how you and Salah were able to go out and do more. But as time progressed and you gain more weight, you're able to do less and go out less to the point where he can hardly go out and do anything with you. Anymore, he has to wait for it to be dark at night. He takes you to deserted places out in the middle of nowhere. If he takes you to a restaurant, it has to be deserted. He's going to put you in a booth with a curtain so nobody can see you. I mean, you go from being at home in your human hamster cage to going into a restaurant and being in a smaller version of that and doing the exact same thing you do at home. So you transfer from the home box to the restaurant box. And if it's not there, it's the middle of nowhere where nobody can see you.
So much, and we're gonna be doing the rest of it. Don't worry. And yeah, so and stay tuned. We have a lot of vlogs coming up, so a lot of exciting things in the future. And I'm not gonna let my issues hold me back. You know, if I have to be the first obese person to die trying to do things that I want to do, then I so be it. I will do it. I will do it. Anyway, I'm stubborn.
Yep.
Yeah, that's one thing I also am. And I don't like to. I hate to be told I can't do something. I hate it. More importantly, I hate to think it. I hate to think to myself that I
And that's her problem. Don't ever tell her no. She wants to hear only yes, and yet the word yes is making things worse. She surrounds herself with yes men. Yes, Chantal, it's okay. Yes, go ahead, do that. She likes to hear the word yes, but the word yes is toxic to her right now. She needs to hear the more of the word no because that would be extremely healthy for her. She needs to hear that word no more often.
can't do it. Something because I know I'm capable of doing anything I want to do. And
Then show us. Stop talking about it, be about it. Don't tell us, show us. We want to know.
so are you guys. Yeah. So I'll see you guys later.
So, what are the comments for the video? Let's see. Let's see. Haley says, you are pushing yourself into an early grave. Living the big life is easier than actually committing to change. Yeah, change is always scary. Change requires work and dedication and effort. Thinking about something is effortless, but actually putting it into play, you got to sit down, you got to make a blueprint, you got to start working with the blueprint, you got to see what do I need to do, where do I need to go, who do I need to talk to. You got to put in all the moving parts. And Chantal's a dreamer. She likes to dream about things, but not actually do things. Let's see. Lides Love Life says, the thing is, Chantal, if you were healthy and overweight or obese, okay, you could still be as you are. However, the scary part is your blood pressure is high, which is very dangerous. It is very possible that you could drop blank from cardiac arrest, which I have had friends it has happened to due to not taking blood pressure medication. Yeah, well, her BP is high, but she's got to be the first to care about that. We can't care more than she has to care. It starts with her. Let's see. Looking for comments. And of course, Chantal edited all the bad comments out. Anyway, so I'm going to cut the react off here. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you so much for being here and have a good one. Bye bye.